Over the last 6 months, my team and I have edited over 3,000 video ads for Skool.com, which is Alex Zamosi and Sam Alvan's platform. We built and still run their entire video editing operation, which is 15 editors, and there were months where you pushed out over 1,000 ads in a single month. In that time, Skool grew from 50,000 community owners to over 190,000 community owners. And our ads were a part of making that happen. Now, in that same period, I've also worked directly with coaches and course creators on their YouTube channel and social media strategy, helping them turn content into their primary sales channel. And in this video, I want to share the most important things that I actually learned from being inside of one of the fastest scaling platforms in the online business space and from working with dozens of coaches trying to do the same thing at their own level. The best editing style is the one that matches the platform, not the one that looks the coolest. Because people think that better editing is better results, but what we actually found after thousands of ads is that more editing often makes a message harder to understand. You're adding noise when the viewer just wants clarity. So at Skool, some of our highest performing ads were embarrassingly simple. Raw footage, auto-generated subtitles, just music, but no motion graphics or anything, just showing the thing that they're actually gonna get to have congruency from the ad to the landing page. Meanwhile, some of our most beautifully edited pieces underperformed badly. The creative, the actual idea and the hook was almost always the deciding factor and not the production. Now, it's important to note that doesn't mean editing doesn't matter at all. It means it needs to serve the platform. On Instagram Reels and Meta ads, we consistently saw that clean and simple outperformed flashy. On YouTube, stepping up the quality, better visuals, more intentional pacing, and stronger on-screen elements, however, build more authority and trust with the viewer who's spending 10 to 15 minutes with you. The platform determines the standard and not your personal taste. So the takeaway is that before you edit anything or before your team edits anything, ask where is this going and what does the viewer on that platform expect, and match that. Don't overproduce your ads and don't underproduce your YouTube. Now, most people are actually creating content without knowing what it's actually supposed to do. Is your goal mass awareness? Is it direct conversions? Is it pulling people into a funnel? If you don't know the answer before you hit record, you're just posting and hoping. And most coaches have no answer to this question, and it shows in their results. So the system that I use with my clients is that we have a two ecosystem approach. Instagram organic and Meta ads are the attention layer. They generate interest and pull people in at the top. And then YouTube is the nurture and conversion layer, where people actually spend time with you, build trust, and eventually decide to buy. These are not interchangeable. Now, what we also do here is taking that YouTube video and repurposing it as an Instagram reel. But again, it's important to then have different editing on the video because the viewer explains something different on the different platform. Now, I was actually recently on a sales call where someone was telling me I've been following him everywhere and he assumed that I was running aggressive retargeting ads. But the funny thing is I don't run any retargeting ads at all at the moment. The platform are just that good at refining the right people now. Even pure interest-based targeting hits with surprising precision. And that's how good the ecosystem is when you're showing up consistently across multiple touch points. Now, the takeaway is that you need more than one platform and each one needs a specific job. In our system, Instagram and Meta bring people in and then YouTube closes them, and retargeting in between can accelerate the whole thing, but is not necessarily needed. Now, how you look on camera is a business decision, and people say it doesn't matter, it very much does. There's a well-documented psychological principle called the halo effect. When someone appeals credible, polished, or successful in one visible area, people unconsciously assume they're credible in other areas too. Your recording setup, your lighting, your environment, people are making judgments about your competence and about your authority based on all of this before you've even said a single word. Now, with Skool Ads, we actually saw this play out constantly. Two creators with similar messaging, similar hooks, similar everything. One recording in a well-lit, professional-looking environment, and the other one with a really bad lamp. It wasn't just about the idea of the video, it was also about the instant trust that the well setup had versus the bad setup. And now, as you can guess, the bad setup with just a cheap lamp and bad lighting didn't perform at all whatsoever, even though the idea was the same. It was literally just the execution and how well it looked. So if I can be real with you, look, if you're just getting started, then just showing up is enough. Seriously, get started, post the video, done. But at some point, just showing up isn't enough anymore. There's a ceiling on what raw consistently can do if you're not also being intentional. Good lighting isn't expensive, a clean background isn't complicated. I mean, this is nothing crazy. This is just a normal room. Putting effort into your script rather than just ringing it is a choice. And these signal to your viewer that you actually take your own brand seriously. And if you don't, then why would they? So invest into the basics. Proper lighting, a clean environment, camera that doesn't look like 2012, and invest in your script. Tapping in the dark only gets you so far. It's fine to say to a beginner, oh, just post a few videos. That's good. But eventually you have to up your standards, and just showing up isn't enough anymore. Do more volume and stop trying to predict what works. At over 3,000 ads, you stop having strong opinions about what's going to win. You stop trusting your gut and you just look at the data, which ones are performing best. Oftentimes you think you know what's gonna crush, but oftentimes it's also wrong. The market decides and not you. We've had times at Skool where the ad we thought was a throwaway ad, we just filmed it quickly, minimal effort and very raw editing, outperformed everything we'd made that month by a significant margin. And we've also had ads, especially the ones that I've edited myself, that I was genuinely proud of and they completely fell flat. You cannot predict predictive, you can only test it. So the solution to not knowing what works is not spending more time agonizing over one video. It's making more videos, more trying, more data, more volume. And I'm sure you hear it all the time, but it's time to actually implement it. The coaches actually getting clients treat every video like a sales asset, not like a post. There's a massive difference between content that gets views and content that actually gets clients. The difference is almost always just intentionality. Coaches who are signing clients from YouTube know exactly what belief they're trying to shift in every video. Coaches who are just building an audience don't. One client we worked with was posting consistently, decent views, growing slowly, but almost zero inbound leads. And when we looked through their content, there was no through line. Some educational, some motivational, some personal content, but nothing was designed to move a specific prospect closer to a buying decision. So we restructured everything around the actual objectives that came up on their sales calls, and the quality of inbound leads changed significantly within a few months. So before you film anything, ask, what does my ideal client currently believe that's stopping them from buying? And does this video change that belief? If you can't answer that, it's a post and not a sales asset. You've heard it a million times, consistently compounds, but only if you're still in the game 12 months later. This is probably the thing that I've watched most out of everything in the last 6 months or the year of starting this business. The creators who were consistent a year ago are now getting consistent inbound leads without leaning as hard as on ads or without doing anything at all, to be honest. But the ones who stopped and started keep on struggling because, well, you need to keep the momentum going for a longer period of time. Every time you stop, you lose the compounding effect. Algorithm trust, audience warmth, brand familiarity, and you effectively start from zero again. Meanwhile, the people who just kept going, even imperfectly, now have a content library working for them 24/7. So the question isn't whether you should be doing content, the question is, what system do I need to be able to do this without it taking over my entire life? So for school, that's 15 editors and a full operation, and they don't do content, we just do ads. For most coaches, it's a lot simpler. You just need a system that handles this for you. And that's exactly what we help coaches build. If you're spending money on ads, but you don't have authentic content backing them up, and that's probably the gap in your funnel. Link in the description if you want to talk about what that would look like for your business. We're getting our clients some insane results, but I hope this video was helpful either way.